Arthur Wharton is remembered as the world's first black professional footballer, but his story is about far more than football. It is a story of courage, determination, and breaking barriers during a time when racism and discrimination were deeply rooted in society. Long before football became the global sport we know today, Arthur Wharton was already changing history. Arthur Wharton was born on October 28, 1865, in Jamestown, in what is now Ghana. At the time, the country was known as the Gold Coast and was part of the British Empire. His father was a Methodist missionary and his mother came from a royal Ghanaian family. His family hoped he would eventually become a missionary himself, and as a teenager he traveled to England to continue his education. However, after arriving in England, Wharton quickly discovered that his true talent was sport. He was naturally gifted in almost every athletic activity he tried. He competed in running, cycling, football, cricket, and rugby, but it was sprinting that first brought him national attention. In 1886, Arthur Wharton set a world record in the 100-yard sprint, completing the race in just 10 seconds. At the time, this made him one of the fastest men in the world. His speed and athleticism amazed spectators, and newspapers began reporting on the talented athlete from the Gold Coast. Alongside athletics, Wharton developed a passion for football. He began playing as a goalkeeper and quickly became known for his exciting and fearless style. During the 19th century, goalkeepers were usually expected to stay close to their goal line and play cautiously. Wharton was completely different. He rushed out to challenge attackers, made dramatic diving saves, and used his speed to cover large areas of the pitch. Some reports from the time described him as entertaining and unpredictable. Fans enjoyed watching him because he played with energy and confidence. Many football historians now believe he was years ahead of his time in the way he approached goalkeeping. Wharton played for several clubs during his career, including Darlington FC, Sheffield United FC, and Stockport County FC. In 1889, he became one of the first footballers to play professionally in England, making him the first black professional footballer in history. This achievement was groundbreaking. Football was rapidly growing across Britain, but black players were almost completely absent from the professional game. Victorian society was filled with racial prejudice, and Wharton regularly faced discrimination both on and off the pitch. Newspapers often focused more on the color of his skin than his ability as a player. Racist stereotypes were common during the era, and Wharton had to deal with treatment that modern footballers would never accept today. Despite this, he continued to play with confidence and professionalism. Many supporters respected him because he refused to let prejudice stop him from succeeding. His performances earned admiration from teammates and fans who recognized his talent and bravery. In many ways, Arthur Wharton became a symbol of perseverance during one of the most difficult periods in British sporting history. One of the most impressive things about Wharton was his versatility. Although he is best remembered as a goalkeeper, he could also play in outfield positions when needed. His speed and athleticism allowed him to adapt easily, making him one of the most complete athletes of his generation. Unlike modern footballers, players in the 19th century did not earn enormous salaries. Most still needed other jobs to survive financially. Wharton spent much of his life working in physically exhausting industrial jobs, including coal mining. The contrast between his sporting achievements and his difficult working life highlights how different football was during that period. Today's players perform in front of millions of fans and become global celebrities. Arthur Wharton, despite making history, spent years working dangerous jobs simply to support himself and his family. As he grew older, Wharton slowly moved away from professional sport. His fame faded, and many people forgot about his achievements. When he died in 1930 at the age of 65, his contribution to football history was largely unknown. 4 decades after his death, Arthur Wharton's story remained forgotten. However, during the late 20th century, historians and football organizations began rediscovering his legacy. Campaigns were launched to ensure he received proper recognition as the first black professional footballer. Gradually, Wharton's story began receiving the attention it deserved. Statues and memorials were created in his honor, and educational projects helped introduce his story to younger generations. Today, many football fans and historians see him as one of the most important pioneers in the history of the sport. Wharton's influence reaches far beyond football. He opened doors for generations of black players who followed him and proved that talent could overcome barriers, even during a time of extreme discrimination. Modern football is one of the most diverse sports in the world, with players from different races, cultures, and nationalities competing together at the highest level. Pioneers like Arthur Wharton helped make that possible long before equality existed in society. His story is not just about football. It is about courage, resilience, and challenging prejudice. More than a century later, his impact can still be felt throughout the game. Arthur Wharton's life reminds us that true pioneers are not always fully appreciated in their own time. But their influence can last forever. And that is the story of Arthur Wharton, a man whose courage, talent, and determination changed football history forever. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to True Footballing Icons for more stories about the legends who shaped the beautiful game. Thanks for watching.